Kelvin, just start off with you made some lineup changes tonight. If you could kind of
That's not important.
well, in terms of what you thought from the guys who that you did insert it, it looked like Dejon came off
Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
lot of energy.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I started the guys that I thought practiced really well this week. I didn't go into it with any preconceived notions. But I thought the best player on the floor for us tonight was Fabian. You know, he's tough. SMU did a great job of probably the best that I've seen this year of blocking us out. You know, you can tell they made a concerted effort to keep us off the boards that first half. But you know, we're going to keep coming. You know, we work too hard at pursuing our missed shots. The good news is that we pursue them with great tenacity and relentlessness. The number of offensive rebounds not nearly as important as the percentage you get. I wish we didn't get 15. I wish we had 8. Because if we had 8, that means we only miss. If we got 50% of 16 missed shots, we'd have 8. That's pretty good. You know, we missed what? We missed 32. So the more you miss, the more you're going to get. The number's not important. The percentage of what you of your missed shots is important to us. That's what we strive for. So you guys got 17 offensive rebounds. That's good. Well, is it? I'd rather make those shots. You know, so the thing that we preach is percentages. You know, our goal every night, and it's almost impossible to get, but it doesn't mean you can't try, is to get half of our missed shots. That's one of our Fabian's had that beat into his head since he was a freshman in June of his freshman year. Right, Fabian? That's just part of who we are. You know, we don't have a great shooting team. And so you guys need to practice, you think? But, you know, some nights they're going to go in. We hit some timely ones. Quentin made a great pass to Marcus, and he banged a good 3 because we were spaced. As long as we stay spaced, we're going to get good shots. Now, will we make them? Some nights not. You know, we didn't make very many of them against Tulsa. But made our free throws tonight when it counted. But, you know, our toughness is getting better. This team's going to have ups and downs. That's why I don't overreact to stuff with young teams too much. You know, Kentucky loses at South Carolina tonight. They're not a bad team. Kentucky's pretty good. They lost a road game. It's okay. You're going to get beat on the road. Duke's pretty good. They lost at Clemson. Don't overreact to it. Wichita State lost at Temple. Houston lost at Tulsa. It happens. It's not you know, what was important was winning at home. You got to win your home games and pick up some road wins when you can. You know, last year's team was 8-1 on the road. It could have been 9-0. But you don't have teams like that very often. Matter of fact, this school's never had a team to win 33 games. But that's only because we played more games than Phi Slama Jama. Had they played 37, I promise you they would have won more.
Fabian, you know, from what he said, how did you feel out there? Was there kind of a sense of, you know, maybe the last few games, things starting to, I guess, well, Tulsa, not including that one, but just in terms of how you felt the last few games building up to this one?
Just talking to coaches, it starts off in practice, really. So having good practices just translates to the game, and that's what I've been having so far this week. So as long as I keep having good practices and going out just trying to play hard and rebound as much as I can, I should just play good.
As a team, that identity, that toughness, that grit that he wants, when y'all are out there, what have you seen from the team in terms of maybe getting to that point or starting to get to that point?
We had a lot more heart and a lot more desperation this game than last game, and as long as we keep progressing and keep having that desperation and not losing that desperation, we should be fine.
Coach, what you think about the team defense tonight?
Holding that team to 62 points is outstanding. They're either first, second, or third in our league offensively. They average about 80 points a game, so I was proud of our defense. That's a really, really good offensive team. They're not easy. They're not easy to guard. I think they were down 12 with 6 minutes to go at Vanderbilt. Came back and won because they can outscore. The toughest thing about them for me personally as a coach is matching up. We were constantly trying to find matchups tonight. Like they take Chris out of the game. There's nobody for Chris to guard. If they put 22 in the game, I could get him in there against them. But you saw what was Ferran's number? Ferran Hunt. Chris couldn't guard that kid in the phone booth. So well, Chris, he's not going to guard him. You know how Chris guards him? Sit down beside me and put somebody else in there that can. So that's kind of what we had to do tonight a lot. We played small some. We put Nate at the 4 and put Fabe at the 5, but we were constantly having to look for defensive matchups. But little Kendrick Davis kid's talented. Isaiah Mike's talented. Shagwa is a tough matchup because he's built like a 5-man, but he plays behind the 3-point line. That's what makes them so good.
Coach, can you talk to me about what Fabian brings to the table in terms of leadership of the team?
You know what? He's getting there. Fabian played on 2 unbelievably senior-dominated, great leadership teams. Devin Davis. I told Fabian one day when he was a freshman that he was lucky he got to play with Devin every day when he was a senior. Because I could judge Fabian's progress by the fight he had against Devin. Because Devin kicked his butt for months. And then once we got past Christmas of his freshman year, it's kind of like Armani versus Damian Dotson. Fabian started giving it back to him. And that's when Fabian started really, really progressing. And then last year, even though he's a sophomore, he started for us. But he was on a team with unbelievable leadership in Galen and Corey. But, when you have a great program, they're always going to move out and guys move up. Our goal here from day one was to build a great program, never to have a good team, is to build a great program. Great programs have great sustainability. And we've wanted to sustain this, and that's why, we've gone 22, 23, whatever, 22, 20-something, 27, 33. But, it's consistency, but it's because of guys like Nate. Nate came in as a freshman. Now he's a sophomore. Fabian came as a freshman. Sophomore, now he's a junior. Look at Caleb Mills. Caleb Mills is going to get a lot better now. Don't think that he's pretty good. Well, he's going to get a lot better. Marcus, our freshman class, our sophomore class, our junior class. We should have 2 seniors right now in Armani and Chris, but Armani made a great decision for him. So we only have 1 senior, and that's hurt us some because of inexperience. But that's the way it goes. Losing the games never bothered me like it bothers other people because I'm on the inside looking out. I understand it.
Coach, you mentioned Caleb. It seems like every single week somebody's new is performing well on this team. Early in the season, it was Quentin and Nate. Last week, it was Caleb. Tonight, it was Fabian. Can you just talk about the overall talent of this team, even though they're still young?
Well, Nate's a great example. I didn't think Nate had one of his better games. Nate can blank out occasionally sometime. I have to stay on him about that. But just to show you what a special player he is, he didn't have a great, but he had 9 rebounds. Because, if I told Nate to run through a brick wall, you know what he'd say to me? Coach, can I get a running start? And there's a lot of cats, you tell them run through a brick wall, they look at you like you're crazy, or they grab the phone and text somebody about that crazy coach, what that crazy coach just said. But Nate would just say, Coach, can I get a running start? That's why on not a great night, he still impacts winning. A lot of guys put up numbers, but they don't impact winning. How do you impact winning? And Nate Hinton impacts winning. And Nate's a great role model for Marcus and Caleb. And then with our freshman class that comes in next year, think about how lucky that freshman class will be next year to have all these kids that are moving up. As freshmen become sophomores, sophomores become juniors, and look at our senior class next year. but that's how we maintain our culture. But I don't, I always knew last 3 years, Damian Dotson, then Rob, and then Corey, kind of knew who I was going to finish games with. This year's just game to game. Tonight it was Dejan. If Caleb's got the right matchup, it could be him. It was against Temple. Didn't work out for us against Tulsa. He turned it over. If we could have done something, we could have won the Tulsa game. But tonight we had enough guys make plays. Tonight was more who we are. We're just a good team. But I don't think we're anything more than that. I don't think we're great. I don't think we're really, really good. I just think we're a good team.
Nate, that second half, they a couple of times threatened to close the gap. What do you see from your team at that point when, as the experience factor plays in, you get more games that you can stop those runs or stop them from taking the lead there?
We just gotta. A lot of times in those situations, we come to the huddle and everybody's kind of looking around like, okay, like it is what it is. They made a run, so like everybody just come together and start making a run. So now we've a little bit of experience of us making runs and other teams coming back. It's a kind of we wouldn't want it, but it's a good experience to have. And so now we're having more and more composure of how to handle those things in those certain situations.
Nate, oftentimes you set the pace or the energy with this team. What do you think about the energy you guys started the game with, just sustained throughout the entire game?
It was pretty good, I guess. My mind is really on Saturday, so I forgot about everything that happened. So, we just got to keep working and keep, starting the game off the right way. And that's pretty much it.
I was glad to see Fabian had 10 rebounds, but Dejan had his season high of 8. Nate had 9, and I thought Quentin Grimes did a great job off the bench bringing in. He had 2 steals, he had 5 rebounds, made a couple plays there that I'm sure he'd like to have back. I was really proud of Quentin's effort tonight.